we were so fortunate that our social worker out of the NICU sent us to where we needed to go. I feel like we were plugged into everything right out of the NICU. And for so many parents, that's not the way that it is. We were sent to the high-risk developmental clinic. They gave us some resources. They made sure that we were hooked up with early childhood intervention. Our physical therapist that came out had her hands in everything. That she has been so amazing for us. She knows all of the doctors in the area, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of worried about this. Well, you know what? Let's go see this doctor. He's really good with dealing with that particular aspect of your child's health care. So it's just so important for the professionals to be that connected and to talk to each other. Why not? Why wouldn't my neurologist and my geneticist are right down the hall from each other? So why not go over and say, hey, well, let's talk about this kid, or let's have a conference about this kid, and let's all work together as a team to try to figure out what's going on with this child. And that could have helped the waiting process for us, that we could have found something early on with everybody coming together, the meeting of the minds. Two heads are better than one. And the more people that come together to work with a child can make a big difference.
Some information that I wish I would have had when I made the transition, or we made the transition from the NICU into the home, include follow-up care. Not follow-up care, but just follow-up from our caseworker, and between the hospital and receiving the therapies that we did, just a little cohesiveness between these two groups. There were questions that I had, I wasn't sure who to direct them to. And so, and of course I didn't know anyone in my family or my friends who had been through this experience. So there was just some uncertainty, a lot of time spent in the NICU. So I was very dependent on others for the medical care. My children were very fragile, and it was difficult to feel comfortable at home and knowing that it's okay. They were healthy enough to come home, and there are things that we need to monitor as parents at home, but we had learned to depend on the nurses and things. So just that, just the transition, follow-up between our caseworker and going into direct therapy. Transitioning from the NICU into your home life with your children can be very daunting. Very scary. You get used to all of these doctors and nurses having their eye in these monitors, that measure everything, keep track of everything. You're used to those things, so you become dependent on those things. So the transition going home is very daunting. And once you get there, one piece of advice I would give is to continue to reach out to your caseworker. It's very important, that you've formed a bond with her. She's there to help you even whenever you're at home, and you get home and you don't have those monitors. Your child is not necessarily hooked up to all the medical devices as he or she were before. And so you get a little nervous. You're not able to sleep very well at night. So many things to think about. And a lot of times, your child will continue with therapy and things. And so you're overwhelmed with everything, those types of things when you're at home. So you want to make sure that you reach out to your caseworker, reach out to family and friends. You don't have to be super mom or super dad. Just make sure that, when someone offers to help, take them up on their offer. I had a very, very interesting experience with that. I felt like, I was at home now. I needed to be able to take care of things myself. The children were healthy enough to come home. So it took me quite a while to finally say, I've had enough sleep deprivation. I can reach out to those people who are in my support circle.
First, I got a lot of sleep. I was just exhausted after the delivery. I think just exhausted emotionally and mentally, like, oh my gosh, we have so much to do, and so many people are going to be here, meaning the 3 babies plus us. But my mom came, she helped me get, clothes washed and, their basic needs, everything organized. That was huge, organization. I knew it was going to be busy when they got home, and so I needed to know where everything was going to be and easily accessible and plenty of it. So if we needed 6,000 diapers for the first year, we kind of made sure we had 5,000 of those diapers. And just making sure that we were talking to the nurses and doctors about what the kids would need, like their formula to supplement the milk that I was providing, the vitamins. Just making sure that we knew as much as possible and were as prepared for when they came home as possible. That was the transition from home. From the hospital home.